In this video for Bentley OpenBuildings Designer, Connect Edition, Modeling HVAC Systems, we'll take a look at using the Device Hookup tool. You see the tool right up here in the ribbon interface. In the Mechanical tab, the Place Mechanical Systems group. But first, I'll place some rectangular ductwork off of this VAV terminal that I've got modeled. I'll turn on my part family, orientation, size, shape options here. I don't need a base offset right now, so I'll set that to 0. Notice that my ACS plane lock and ACS plane snap locks are on. So when I snap onto that connection, the duct is going down there to 0. In this case, I'll turn off those locks. So I don't want to be constrained. I'll left click to accept that point, use my AccuDraw to index this duct, and I'll just place a length of duct out here. Like that. Right click. Then I'll place 4 air terminals. This time I will use the base offset, so I'll turn those locks back on up here. The ACS plane lock, ACS plane snap lock. I'll go to my air terminals tool. This time I'll turn off the part and family. I don't want to match part and family, but I'll leave on orientation, size, and shape. Family is diffuser, part is supply new. And I've got my catalog item here, diffuser, square ceiling round connection, square diffuser top. If we look at our properties down here, I see that I've got a 10-inch connection, and I'll go ahead and set my construction phase to new construction. In the base offset, let me set that to 10 feet. And I'll come over to the top view here and place 4 air terminals near this rectangular ductwork that I just placed. So I'll pick a point. Using my AccuDraw, I'll continue to place 3 more. I'm pressing enter with my AccuDraw to lock that axis. Now right here, I want to get that nice and lined up. I notice it's not snapping, so you can always apply a tentative snap, which is your left and right mouse button together. Notice how it's snapping to the connection point. I'll left click to accept that, and then a right click to exit the tool. So we see here, if I rotate my view 1 here, how I've got the ductwork and those air terminals placed. I'm going to rotate my view 1 to a top orientation. And there's an option here where we can place a fence. And in the ribbon interface, we have this set of common tools. One of our selection tools is to place a fence. So I'll come over here, pop open the list, select place fence. I see I've got it set to block inside, and I'll pick a couple of points, just making sure that I encompass all those air terminals and that duct that I place. So there's the fence that I placed. A fence is a selection tool, keep in mind. Then I can come up to the ribbon interface here and select Device Hookup. We have our settings for the device hookup in our tool settings dialog box here. I'll set the type to be flexible. I'll set the flex length to be 4 feet. The connection angle, I'll leave at 90. The transition tolerance is 20 feet. The transition tolerance has to do with the distance in the Z direction from the connection point on the air terminals and the duct that I'm going to connect these to. So anything, if I've got something that's further than 20 feet away, then it won't connect those. So transition tolerance. Notice that we have this option to use fence. My fence mode I can set here inside is fine in this case. And then if I follow the prompt, it says select device. Since I'm using the fence, I'll just pick a point inside that fence. And then it's telling me to select component. I'll select the ductwork. You see it's doing some processing here. It's locating those 4 diffusers. And now it's connected those. If I come over and look at it in this view 2, I'm just maximizing it. This view is in a wireframe display style. We rotate it around. I'll rotate it right about that midpoint of that duct, we can see how that device hookup tool connected my components. So it put a rectangular to round takeoff, it put some round ductwork, and then the flex ductwork to connect that. So a quick way we can connect multiple air terminals to our duct runs. Notice I did it in a top orientation. So that's one of the keys here, is that you rotate your view to a top orientation. Now, one thing you need to be aware of is duct has a property called minimum length. And if you find that you can't get this to connect correctly, well, it's a good idea to go check your minimum length setting in your duct data group properties. And we can do that by going to the duct tool. I'll set my catalog item to round ductwork. And if you notice in the properties down here, for round duct parameters, notice we have a length and a minimum length. So my minimum length is 4 inches. So if I have some configuration that it can't place that round duct because it'll be less than 4 inches in my case, then I probably need to come over here and set this. And I can just set it to a different value, and then it will be set when we go to use the device hookup tool. In fact, let's take a look at the length of this round duct here. I'll double click on it. That'll put me into the modify properties. And I see that the length is this 8.22 dimension here. So be aware of that minimum length setting. Now we can also connect individual components. I'll come over to another part of the model here where I've got these duct that are connected on the side, and I'll just place some ductwork here and I'll connect a couple of these. So again, I'll come to my duct command here. I'll go ahead and set my base offset. Let's say it's 12 feet. And I'll place some rectangular duct. Let's change the size here. Let's say I make it 24 wide by 18 deep. And I've got my base offset set, my icon lock set, so I'll just place a length of duct right here. Now, you can get to that device hookup tool with a right press on your mouse. If I hover over this air terminal, I'll right press. Notice that we have that device hookup tool available in the context sensitive menu. This time I'll set my duct to rigid, and I'll set the connection angles to 45 degrees. I'll leave my transition tolerance. Following the prompt, I'll select the device, which is my air terminal. Then I'll select the component, which is the duct. Notice how I can change where it's going to connect on that duct just by moving my cursor. Then one more left click following the prompt that says accept. There you can see how it connected that duct. I'll do one more while I'm here in the command. If I rotate this view around, you can see that those connections are oval, so it put a rectangular to oval connection onto that duct and then ran that connection to those terminals. So the device hookup tool for connecting your ductwork to your air terminals. Thanks for watching.
If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. If you want to see more such series, consider subscribing to our channel. Thank you, and see you next time.